All right, Red Zone Room. We're back again without tailgate. We're doing this in the same night, but you're not going to see it for another week. Tailgate sucks, basically, as always. I really do feel like this show is better without tailgate, but we'll see what he has to say about it. We're going to do AFC breakout candidates now. Just the same as we did last episode. We'll just go through each team and give our candidates. So let's start with the AFC South, and we're just going to start off with my Colts. I think JT is a very solid answer, but I'm going with Michael Pittman. I think Michael Pittman is super underrated. He dealt with injuries a lot last year. I don't really care about the quarterback play because T.Y. Hilton is nowhere near where he used to be. Pascal and Campbell are a little bit underrated, but they're not really wide receiver ones. I think Pittman can be a great wide receiver one. Maybe not this year, but eventually. His yards after catch is pretty insane. But I do think he's going to be our solidified wide receiver one after the season. So,
yeah, I could see Pittman. Mine is a bit interesting. I got Bobby Onkurike.
I like that a lot. I do.
I think he's a bit underrated. I really do. Obviously Darius Leonard is the best linebacker on that team and one of the best top 5 linebacker in the league, I'd imagine, for most people. Darius Leonard's pretty good. I think Bobby Okereke could break out in a very big way. Obviously, Michael Pittman is another good choice. His yak is good. But I think Bobby Okereke is going to be my choice just because I think the Colts defense is good. Wasn't he hurt last year? Didn't he get hurt?
Uh-huh.
He did get hurt last year. Bounces back. I wouldn't be shocked if he breaks out. I wouldn't be shocked at all. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be like this top tier linebacker in the league or anything. I think he could be a very, very, very good linebacker too on their team.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Let's go to the Texans. Tough to pick from there. Man, like what the hell good players do they have? But I'm gonna go with Nico Collins. I think I'd go with Brandon Cooks, but it's not like he's gonna break out. I think he'll be as good as he usually is. Like he's just always been a little bit underrated. Like I think he's a solid wide receiver 2 option. I think he'll be good for fantasy because who else are they gonna throw the ball to? But yeah, Nico Collins. It's like I don't know. I don't really know why. I just feel like who the hell else they throwing the ball to? Brandon Cooks is gonna be doubled up, or not doubled up, but he's gonna be on the cornerback number 1 will be on Brandon Cooks. I just feel like Nico Collins is going to have a good year.
Yeah, Nico Collins is okay. Honestly, you could use so many people from that team.
I went with Nico Collins because who the hell else? I didn't know who the hell else to say.
No. I'm just going to go with Justin Reed. I don't know if he's actually going to. I think he's a good choice, though. Probably about the 17th, 16th best safety in the league. I think he could possibly emerge into about top 12 range, but yeah. Justin Reed is my pick.
Did you see him doing the kickoff?
Yeah, I did. That was pretty cool.
That was a boot.
Yeah, dude, he booted it all the way in the end zone. Like, I was shocked.
All right, let's go to the Jaguars. I feel like we might have the same answer, but you got to go Laviska Shenault here. But the only thing that makes me hesitant is just how crowded the receiving core is. Because I like Chark. I think Marvin Jones is going to have a great year. So, I mean, and there's Shenault. Like last year, I predicted before they got Marvin Jones, I'm like, Laviska Shenault will break out. At that point, we knew they're getting Trevor Lawrence. I was like, this dude is like very talented. And then they got Marvin Jones. I'm like, it's a crowded receiving core, so maybe there might have to be an injury for him to like completely break out. But I just love him as an NFL player, so I just had to go with him.
Yeah, I thought about Laviska Shenault too, but I'm just gonna go with CJ Henderson. I think that's a pretty. Now, I don't know if he's gonna get traded. I'd imagine you saw that rumor popping around. Put on the trade block. Not put on the trade block. Apparently, he's been dealing with some emotional stuff recently, some mental health. Obviously, mental health is very important. Hopefully, he can get the help that he needs. But CJ Henderson, he was the 9th overall pick for a reason. And honestly, he had a good argument for being the best cornerback in that draft. if he wouldn't have gotten hurt, because his last season he was hurt for most of the season, and he still put up amazing numbers, and he locked down some of the best receivers in the country, including Jamar Chase. He bitched on Jamar Chase a little bit. So I'm just gonna go with CJ Henderson. He might get traded, but at the end of the day, I think he could be the best cornerback on that team.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good pick. The Titans for me it was kind of tough. Like, obviously, we know damn well, like, the offense, they already have, like, a top half league O-line. Ryan Tannehill, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, and Derrick Henry they're getting the touches on offense. I don't like the defense. I like Bud Dupree. I wouldn't call that a breakout. I had to go with Anthony Ferkser, and it's not really because of it's – I don't know how many touches he's going to get, because there's Derrick Henry running the ball. There's Julio. There's A.J. Brown. I don't know how involved he's going to be, but I think he's talented enough to where he can be as good as Jonnu Smith was with the Titans. So I wouldn't say breakout as like a top 10 tight end, but like breakout from where he is now, I think he could be a top half of the league tight end.
Yeah, there's you can't really. It's hard to choose anybody on the Titans offense just because it's so loaded. I looked at their defense. There's not much I like, but there is one piece that I do like. Christian Fulton, drafted in the second round of 2020. I think he's a solid pick for them. I think he could possibly emerge as that cornerback one, considering the cornerback one is now Caleb Farley. And that's why I'm not a big fan of the Titans, although I still think they're going to win the division. I'm not the biggest fan of them just because their cornerbacks suck and their pass rush barely improved. But if I'm going to choose someone, I'd go with Christian Fulton.
Well, let's go over to the West, and we'll start off with the Chiefs. I think there's two good candidates. For me, I wrote down Clyde Edwards-Helaire and L'Jarius Sneed. I think L'Jarius Sneed could be a top 10 corner in the league this year. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I know he's a little banged up right now, so it's kind of a tough situation. But I think he was like through the top half of the year before he got hurt or before they picked up Le'Veon Bell. Through those first 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks, whatever it was, he looked good to me. Like, you watched him on that Thursday night game. He was patient. He was aggressive. He looked good. And I thought he was going to be a clear-cut RB1 for fantasy. Then they got Le'Veon. Then he got injured. And then kind of just took steps back from there. But I feel like if they use him right this year, he could be an animal. And I think he's super slept on. He's ranked at like the 7th best running back in his class, just because of how good the other running backs are. But I think he's on the top level of those other guys. I think he could be a very good running back in this league.
Yeah, Clyde was very good Thursday night against the Texans. I'm gonna go with L'Jarius Sneed. I'm very, very, very high on L'Jarius Sneed. I think he could end up as a top 5 cornerback at some time in his career. I'm huge on L'Jarius Sneed. In my opinion, he was the best rookie cornerback, and I don't know if it was close. I know everybody liked Cam Dantzler. Obviously, Jamin Johnson was good for the limited he played. CJ Henderson was really dominant at first, and then he kind of struggled towards the end of the year. I thought L'Jarius Sneed was consistently the best cornerback for rookie-wise in 2020, so I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, that's a solid pick. Broncos. Once again, I feel like there's two good candidates here. On the offense, at least, there's Jerry Jeudy. He had the drop issue last year. As I've said with Deontay Johnson, I think it's super fixable. He's already a top 10 route runner in the league. Quarterback situation, I don't know what's going on with that. I personally feel like they should have at least tried out Drew Lock. Teddy gives them a very high floor, but a very low ceiling. I feel like Drew Lock was looking good in preseason. That's just preseason, but he said he's felt the best he's ever felt. I thought it was worth a shot to give him a chance and then maybe go to Teddy if he sucked. But either way, I think Jerry Jeudy can have a solid year. And I also thought about Javonte Williams just because Melvin Gordon is not the same he used to be. And I think Javonte will surpass him in like 4 weeks. And I think he's probably the best. Him and Najee is close for the best running back in the draft class. But I know how you feel about that.
Yeah, it's funny. Before we started this, I actually made this list a few weeks ago. Well, maybe like 2 weeks ago. I put Drew Lock for Broncos. Clearly, that's not going to happen anymore. I agree with 440 though. Drew Lock should have started, and I know maybe you're like, oh, you're biased. Drew Lock looked very good in the preseason. He looked good. You can honestly make an argument he looked better than Teddy in the preseason. And apparently, once again, in practice, they were close, but Drew Lock was doing better than Teddy in practice. At least that's what the reports were saying, and that's what all the people at training camp were saying. So it didn't really make sense to me that they put in Teddy, but the scheme fits well. They just want to keep play safe football, and that's what they're going to get with Teddy. Because of that, I don't think Judy can break out in a big way because one, the wide receiver core, it's not really crowded, but to say that it's open isn't really the right thing to say either. I mean, KJ Ham, oh, I spit my mouth. KJ Ham is a good deep threat. He looked good in preseason. Tim Patrick came off, I would say, a mini breakout year. Didn't have a single drop last year. Of course, Cortland Sutton's coming back from injury, and then you have Jerry Judy. So pretty crowded receiving room, I would say. So I'm just gonna go. I would go with Noah Fant, but like I said, I think it's pretty crowded. So honestly, I'm gonna go with Bradley Chubb. I think Bradley Chubb can emerge as a top 10 edge rusher with Von Miller coming back. The last time him and Von Miller were on the same field for an entire season, both of them got double-digit sacks, and they were both very good edge rushers. Bradley Chubb obviously was in the running for defensive rookie of the year, but of course it went to Darius Leonard. But he still had a very good rookie year, 12 sacks, had a couple forced fumbles. He was very good. I think he could emerge as that top 10 edge rusher.
We got a big Broncos fan over here.
Denver playoff team.
Tailgate's not here to argue on that, so. But okay, so the Raiders, this is one of the teams I struggled with.
Yeah, same here.
I don't like their defense. I like Mo Rig, but I'm not going to pick Jacobs or Drake, anyone from their own line. Derek Carr is at the best he's going to be, I feel like. And obviously, Brian Edwards is the super popular pick for Breakout. Apparently, he looks like Randy Moss and Terrell Owens. I'm going to go Hunter Renfrow. I think he's underrated. I think he can be like a Cole Beasley type of guy. Not like a top 15 wide receiver or anything, but just from where he's at now, I think he can have a pretty, maybe like an 800 to 900 yard season if you classify that as Breakout. I just don't like the Raiders in general. So that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, Raiders, you're not getting 7 wins, so get that thought out of your head. I'm sorry, that's not happening. You're not a good football team. You're the worst team in that division. And to be honest, I don't really think it's close.
Yeah.
I don't want to say Brian Edwards because everybody else is saying Brian Edwards, but literally, who else am I going to pick?
Exactly.
Like, do you want me to pick Damon Arnett? Because I don't. You want me to pick Teron Morik? I mean, maybe, but I don't trust a rookie like that. You want me to pick Corey Littleton, who was one of the more disappointing free agents, like signed free agents of the entire free agency class? Like, I don't want to pick him. I don't want to pick Max Crosby because I think he's good. I don't think he's that great. You want me to pick Cleveland Ferrell, who's just been disappointing me every single year? Like, not really. So I'm going to pick Brian Edwards for the simple fact that I just don't really have any other options.
Well, yeah, that's fair enough. It's like, to be honest, we go over to the Chargers. I don't know. It's kind of the same thing. I mean, you can go Herbert, but that's so obvious. I don't really want to pick any receiver. Mike Williams, I don't think he'll be better than he is. Keenan Allen's already top 8. Running back Austin Eckler, I think, is going to have a good year, but he's not going to be top 5 or anything. I don't like the defense in general. I think you can name Derwin James and freaking Joey Bosa, and it's like you can't name too many good players on that defense. So I dug deep, and I heard a lot about Donald Parham, the tight end.
Yeah.
Jared Cook, I think, is old. I don't think he's going to do much. So if I have to be honest, I would just pick no one from this team. But if I have to pick someone, I'm going Donald Parham.
I'm going to choose no one.
What'd you say?
I'm gonna choose no one.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
that
Fair
was
enough. I
funny.
could
No,
not.
no, no,
I
no, 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 no,
struggled.
no, no, no. I just laughed that you said that because
Oh,
you're just right. There's not really a lot you can choose. I'm just gonna choose Kenneth Murray, even though I don't really like him that much. I think he's bad in coverage. He's a very good tackler, though, great run stopper. But that's not really what the modern linebackers should be. The modern linebackers should be good in coverage. That's why I'm so high on guys like Patrick Queen, Isaiah Simmons, and Devin White, because the potential to be good in coverage is very high. Kenneth Murray will never be good in coverage. He wasn't at Oklahoma. He was a very good tackler. And the fact that he was drafted ahead of Queen was ridiculous. But if I have to choose someone, I'm going to go Kenneth Murray. Maybe you can say Derwin James breaks out and becomes the best safety in the league. I don't know if that man's even going to play consistent football next year, considering he's played 5 games in the last 2 years.
yeah.
Yeah, he's barely played any football. And I like Derwin James. His rookie year was sensational. And to be honest, I know you might get a bit mad at this. I think Derwin James should have won Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2018. I know Darius Leonard had a great year. I think Derwin James was elite. He was very good. And so was Darius Leonard. I'm not going to say it should have easily been Derwin. I just thought he should have gotten more votes than he did because I'm pretty sure Bradley Chubb and Darius Leonard both got more votes. And I think Derwin easily had a better season than Chubb. And I think Leonard's a bit of a debate, but I think Derwin should have won it. That's just me, though.
Yeah, pretty fair. All right, let's go to the AFC East. And I'll start off with the Jets. Corey Davis.
Ooh.
I regret not picking Corey Davis in any of my fantasy drafts.
Oh, shit.
We watched the Jets preseason game. This dude got every freaking target. I don't know what his stats were, but we're watching the game. Every single Zach Wilson highlight, every single play was to Corey Davis. This dude was just a target hawk. So I think he's going to be clearly Zach Wilson's favorite target. I initially thought they had a kind of a wide receiver or a crowded wide receiver room, which they do. They got Crowder, Elijah Moore.
Jamison Crowder isn't really going to do much next season, I don't think.
I mean, whatever it is, though, I think Corey Davis is getting 8 to 12 targets a game. This dude is going to be a target hawk. He kind of broke out a little bit last year as wide receiver 2 for the Titans. I think he's going to have a great year this year, so he's my pick.
So the reason I cursed a minute ago is because I forgot to change it. I have Carl Lawson. So, whoops. So, and by the way, I'm sorry for Carl Lawson. Hopefully making good recovery because I think he's one of the most underrated players in the entire league. He's got all the tools. He just needs to put it together. And I thought this year he was going to do that. Unfortunately, got injured. Hopefully he can come back better than ever. Choose someone. I'll roll with Mekhi Becton. Why not? He was good last year, but Adam Gase, I don't know if you know this dude, but Adam Gase tried to play him when he was injured. He was limping on the side, in pain, and Adam Gase was screaming at him to get on the field. That just shows you how much of an idiot. Adam Gase is worse than people think. He's probably a top 3 worst coach of all time. Maybe. I don't think he's number 1, but he's got to be top 3. So, if I'm going to choose someone, I'll choose Mekhi Becton. Why not?
Yeah, I'm not going to argue against that. Let's go over to the Patriots then. I feel like there's a kind of a big obvious answer here, but I'm not going to go that way, even though I have been all offseason. I'm going Jacoby Myers. I think they got Nelson Aguilar. They got Kendrick Bourne. I don't think those two are really wide receiver ones. I think Jacoby Myers last year was slept on. I think he was better than people thought he was. He's not a wide receiver 1, but I think he is going to be a wide receiver 1 for the Patriots this year. Just because I think he's better than Aguilar and Bourne. I think he's the best receiving option they got. And I think he's going to be targeted a lot with whoever the quarterback is. So, I could see him having over 1,000 receiving yard season this year. I wouldn't call it a breakout, he's going to become a dog. Just the best receiver on the Patriots and a sneaky good fantasy season.
Yeah. It feels like every Patriots fan I talk to wants to tell me Josh Uche. He was their second round pick in 2020. A lot of
I thought
Patriots.
I was going to say Damian Harris is what I hear all the time.
Yeah, everybody likes all Patriots. They like their team, especially Michael Onwenu. But I just went with Kyle Duggar. I thought he had an underrated rookie season. I like Kyle Duggar a lot. I think he could be very good for the Patriots in an already super good secondary. So I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna roll with Kyle Duggar.
Yeah, I've been a huge Damian Harris guy all offseason. It's just I'm getting like cold feet about it just because I know they traded Sony Michel away, but like
That didn't matter much.
I think Ramondre Stevenson has a chance to do some good stuff this season. And James White, and I mean he's gonna be the receiving guy. I don't know. It's a little crowded. I think he's gonna have a good year, but I don't know about breaking out to like top 10, top 15, whatever. So but let's go to the Bills then. I really want to go Gabriel Davis, but I hate how crowded the receiving core is. It's
I wanted
tough.
to pick him too.
But like literally before they signed Emmanuel Sanders, I would have said him.
Yeah,
But it's
same
like
here.
they have Diggs, Cole Beasley, Emmanuel Sanders, Gabriel Davis. It's too crowded. He could be a great player, but I can't see him breaking out at all this year just because of how many targets they have. So I wrote him down, I scratched him off, and I just wrote Gregory Rousseau.
There we go. Yeah, same here. I wanted to pick him so bad, but then they signed Emmanuel Sanders, which I get it, but I don't like it. I just didn't like it. Like, why? I thought Gabriel Davis would have been. If you wanted depth at wide receiver, get someone like, in case someone gets hurt. Like, I don't know. I didn't like it that much. I'm gonna go with AJ Epinesa. He's been tearing it up in camp. He's been tearing it up in the preseason. He's been doing a good job. I'm going to roll with AJ Epinesa, who I think is, by the way, their starting edge rusher, by the way, because I know Greg Rousseau isn't starting, as he shouldn't, by the way. He should not be starting for all you Bills fans out there. He should not be starting. So I'm going to roll with AJ Epinesa. Iowa fan, call me biased, whatever. I think he has all the tools. May not be a freak athlete, but his bull rush just reminds me of J.J. Watt. I'm not, by the way.
All right, so let's go to the Dolphins then. I don't have anyone. I don't. I couldn't pick one. I just couldn't.
Not a single one?
I mean, I'm looking at their offense. I think Gaskin's going to have a good year, but I can't say breakout. I think they're going to be – I don't really think he's going to be like the absolute workhorse, and I don't think he's that talented, so I couldn't really pick him. The receivers are too crowded for me. Will Fuller, he's going to miss his classic 4 to 6 games with an injury. Devontae Parker, kind of the same thing. He's probably injured, but I don't know. It's like and Waddle's there. It's like I don't really see one of those receivers breaking out. Gesicki, I kind of put him in the same boat. He's a great tight end. He's top 6, top 7, but he is in a crowded receiving core. I mean, when I went to the defense, I was like, you know what? I could say Jalen Phillips. I feel like it's a basic pick, so I can go with Jalen Phillips. But it's just, I don't know. What do you got?
Dolphins fans are gonna freak out that you didn't pick someone. Like, I'm just gonna say
Yeah.
that.
It's not that I hate the Dolphins like the way I hate the Giants and the Raiders. Like the Dolphins are way better than them.
Yes.
I don't know. I just struggle picking one.
Yeah, they're a pretty good team. It's hard to pick someone. I'm just gonna go. This is the only one I could really think of because I don't think Tua is gonna break out. I've been saying it. I think Tua is Kirk Cousins. I don't think, and people always get mad when I say he's Kirk Cousins. I don't think he elevates the game like Herbert, Kyler, Trevor Lawrence could, Trey Lance, like all these young quarterbacks. I see them elevating. I don't think Joe Burrow will after this injury, but I see those guys like they have special traits and they can make a team better just from them being there. Tua doesn't really make everybody else better. He just doesn't. And I feel like he's kind of been that way his entire career. Even at Alabama, he may have had these great numbers and stuff. I mean, his supporting cast in 2018 might have been the best of all time. He had 4 first-round pick wide receivers. Every single one of his offensive linemen got drafted in rounds 1 through 2. He had 3. I mean, pretty sure he had 3 running backs that got drafted. Pretty sure Damian Harris was there, Najee Harris was there, and Josh Jacobs was there. And I'm sorry, like I'm just not the biggest fan of Tua. I don't think he elevates. So when I say he's Kirk Cousins, that's what I mean. I think he's going to be good, but he needs the team around him to be good. So I'm just gonna go with Austin Jackson. I hated the pick so much when it first happened. I viewed it as the worst pick of that entire draft, or in the entire first round. But he definitely played a lot better than I thought he would. So if I have to choose someone, I'm just gonna choose Austin Jackson. Maybe he could become like a top 10 left tackle, maybe top 15.
Yeah. The reason I didn't go with Tua is pretty similar to yours. Like, I just feel like I don't he's not. I don't think he's a top 25 quarterback right now, and I think he can be top 15. Like you said, I think he can be Kirk Cousins or Baker Mayfield, and I'm not sure if I would call that a breakout year. So that's why I didn't go with Tua.
Even
Um,
Baker, I don't even know if he's Baker because at least Baker has like a good arm. Like
yeah,
Tua
that's
doesn't really have a good arm, in my opinion.
all right. So let's go to the last division, the AFC North. Gotta start it off with my Steelers. I think everyone listening to this knows who I'm going with right now. Deontay Johnson. The dude is
Whew.
so underrated. I can't believe, like, honestly, like, yes, he has a drop issue. Drop issues are fixable. I
That's an
think he can fix
understatement.
it. Even if he doesn't, the dude is amazing route runner. He's an amazing after the catch. Like, he's so good. And the last 9 weeks of the season last year, he finished as wide receiver 6. And nobody has any clue in fantasy. He was wide receiver 6 in the last 9 weeks of last season. And I had him on my
Interesting.
fantasy team. So this is why I remember this. He was so like he had so many targets and receptions. I just Juju is not Juju. Like he's not as good as people think. I like Claypool, but he's up and down. I think Deontay will be the. I think he's by far the best receiver on that team, and I think I can't understand why people underrate him so much.
I'd say he has more than just a drop issue, but yeah, it's definitely fixable. I'm not going to sit here and say it's unfixable. It's definitely fixable. For me, this is, in my opinion, the most obvious one out of every single team. Alex Highsmith, unbelievable in the preseason so far in a blitz heavy scheme with TJ Watt on the other side. He's just going to be replacing Bud Dupree. And to be honest, I think he's going to do a better job. I was a big Alex Highsmith fan coming into the 2020 draft. He has all the tools, he has the athleticism. And I said, as soon as the season ended, the day after the Super Bowl, I posted on Twitter before my Twitter got banned. I said, Alex Highsmith breakout season. And I'm just going to stick with it because I think I'm right. So I'm going to go with Alex Highsmith. I could also maybe see Devin Bush.
Yeah, I have no argument there. That was probably my second option, but yeah. Okay, let's go with the Browns then. The Browns, I kind of struggled initially when I was just going through the offense. I was like, everyone knows who Baker, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Odell, Jarvis. I don't think any of those guys are breaking out. But then when I went to the defense, and I feel like there's a few options over there. But I went with Grant Delpit. His talent from LSU, I think he was an insane prospect, and I think he's going to step in super nice at safety. There's a few other guys I could see, but like I went with Delpit, so I'm curious to see what you have.
I'm going to go with the last piece of the offense that I don't really think is like good because I think every single piece of an offense is good. I think Baker's good. Nick Chubb's good. I think OBJ's good. I think Jarvis Landry's good. Austin Hooper's good. Their entire offensive line is good except for one spot, and that's Jedrick Willis. I think Jedrick Willis breaks out and becomes one of the better elite tackles, one of the better left tackles in the league. I'd say he breaks out to be top 10 left tackle. He was he was one of the top picks for a reason. He was my tackle 2 into that draft. And I think Jedrick Wills, I mean, he dominated the SEC for a reason. He's very, very good. I think he breaks out.
I like that. I think nobody talked about Jedrick Willis last year. I feel like for no reason. Like he was good.
He was good. It's just I don't really know because Thomas was so bad. Becton was hurt, and then Wirfs was like unreal. Wirfs was, in my opinion, the best right tackle in football last year. And then Wills was kind of like up and down, so no one really talked about him.
Yeah, let's go to the Ravens. There's two guys I wrote down, and one of them is just because of the J.K. Dobbins injury. Gus Edwards. He was super efficient last year. It's not like he's like this super young prospect that's going to break out, but he's going to have a good year. There's a good O-line. There's Lamar Jackson back there to help with touches. I think Gus Edwards is going to be fed the ball. I think he's going to have a good year. I was pissed because I had Dobbins on a few of my teams for fantasy, but I had Gus Edwards as like a handcuff on most of them. So I don't know. It sucked, but I wasn't too mad because I was like, you know what? That could be the difference between J.K. Dobbins was obviously ahead of Gus Edwards. It could have been the difference between like a 75-25 to like Gus Edwards getting like most of the work there. So that could be a plus. But I also wrote down Ty Spouser. I think he was super underrated last year. Now that Judon and Ngakoue are gone, could be his D-line now.
Yeah, I'm gonna opt with Patrick Queen. Super duper athlete with good coverage skills, awful tackler, and even his coverage wasn't very good last year, but he had his moments. He was very good towards the beginning of the year, and then he just kind of fell off. I don't even want to say a cliff. He just fell off Mount Everest. Like, he was not very good towards the second half of the season. So I think you find some consistency, and I would say Patrick Queen.
Yeah, I do like Patrick Queen a lot. So the last team is the Bengals. I'm going with T. Higgins. I think Jamar Chase, obviously we've seen the struggles from preseason stuff. I don't know. I don't really know how to react to that, but in general, I feel like T. Higgins has been super underrated. I think Tyler Boyd is too. And it's a crowded receiving core once again. Like, I'm sticking to my same logic. It might be kind of tough, but I do feel like T. Higgins is the best wide receiver in that receiver group. I think he's more talented than people think. You could go with Mixon, but I don't really trust the offensive line. It's kind of tough. Burrow, coming off the injury, hasn't looked good yet. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but the defense sucks, so I'm not even going to look at that side. But, yeah, I think T. Higgins, at least for, like, fantasy, like, Jamar Chase is being taken super high, and I'm just like, I think he should be taken 20 spots lower than he's being taken. And I think T. Higgins is down there way past Jamar Chase. And I'm like, T. Higgins is a steal in fantasy, but I think T. Higgins is going to have a good year.
I'm just going to choose this guy for Joe Burrow's sanity. I'm just going to go with Jordan Williams. First round pick in 2019, ninth overall pick if I remember. He's been good. The problem is he's just been hurt. He was hurt his entire rookie year, and then he was hurt for about a quarter, maybe a third of his of last season. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with Jordan Williams just for the sake that that Joe Burrow stays healthy. Hopefully he does.
Yeah, I like that pick. Well, all right, that's all the teams then.
Yeah, we got all the teams.
Tailgate sucks. We'll just
Yeah,
say
he
that
sucks.
again.
Yeah, we need to clarify that.
Let us know in the comments if we should continue the show without tailgate in the future.
Just put on the thumbnail.
Just kidding,
like,
but tailgate seems
on the thumbnail. You just put tailgate sucks.
I'll just make the title of this YouTube video Red Zone Room without tailgate from now on, or tailgate.
Thank God.
Something like that.
Red Zone Room without tailgate. Thank God.
Yeah. Hey, everyone though, if you're still here at this point, just go spam tailgate on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Just tell him how lazy he is. Just tell him he's a bitch. Just tell him he sucks.
Tell him everything.
Yeah. I mean, I get some comments here and there where people complain like, why do you like post like weekly for a couple weeks and then you wait like a month? You know why? Because tailgate sucks. Guys, I'm on it, guys. Trust me. Like, I get busy sometimes, but I'm always down for it.
I have no life. Like, I don't really have a life. I mean, I'll go out and hang out with people every now and then. And while I'm in college, I'll be doing it a bit often, but it's not like I'm out partying all the damn time. Like, I have time.
Yeah. I mean, I get busy a lot, but I think I enjoy this stuff. So it's like,
yeah,
like last week I moved into college and there were parties every night. So we didn't record anything then, but we had like stuff in the drafts. stuff gets busy. Schoolwork starting stuff, but tailgate sucks, and
Yeah.
I try more than tailgate. All right, well, we are gonna sign off. We know you guys like Donnie on the podcast, so comment more topic ideas and comment if you want to see Donnie again. But thanks for coming on, Donnie, and we'll see you guys later.
Take it easy.